Hi, my name is Barry and welcome to Barry's Kitchen. Today we're going to do turkey stuffing. And this is an old recipe that's been handed down from my family for a number of years. It uses sausage and mushrooms and a number of different ingredients. First thing that you're going to need about 6 to 8 cups of bread. You can use any kind of bread you want. In here I've got French bread, I've got day-old bagels, I've got some crackers, I've got wheat bread, white bread, whatever it is. You're going to go ahead and dry it out overnight and then break it up into little chunks, little bite-sized chunks, and just put it in here. So we've got the bread. Next we're going to do 1 pound of sausage, and this is a 2-pound version, but you're going to go ahead and just use 1 pound. I don't think you want all that sausage in there. So you're going to take and you're going to put that in the pan, fry it up, break it up into little bits. And we're going to go ahead and add that to the stuffing mixture. You're going to also use mushrooms. I love mushrooms, so I'm going to use about 2 cups of mushrooms. Some people don't like mushrooms as much. You can eliminate from the recipe if you so choose. I am not a big fan of celery, but the recipe calls for 1 stalk of celery chopped up and then thrown into the mixture. We're not using that on my recipe. Now, I will tell you that I probably will end up using the celery because my wife loves celery. So at the end, as I'm dividing it up to put it into the turkey, I'm going to put a lot of it into the inside of the turkey, but there's also the back end of the turkey. And so I'll take and chop up some celery, mix it in, and put it in the back end of the turkey for her. We've also got onions, about 1.5 cups of onions. Chop them up and put them in a pan. So I'm going to take the mushrooms and the onions and put them in a pan, and I'm going to use 1.5 sticks of butter and put it in there and cook those all up so they're nice. And I've gone ahead and done a little bit of that now. So I've got the mushrooms in here, I've got the onions in here, I've got the butter in here. In a separate pan over here I've done the sausage. So that's good to go. I've got my bread here. Over in this pan I took the turkey out. I took the insides of the turkey out. So I've got the turkey neck, the heart and the gizzards and the liver. And I went ahead and put it in a pan, filled it about 3/4 of the way up with water, and let it boil down a bit. Why? Because I'm going to take about 1 cup of this broth and add it to here so that it can get moist. And that's going to be one of the last ingredients. And almost the last thing I do is 2 eggs. I'm going to take and put those in there to make it hold together a little bit more. And last but not least, I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of poultry seasoning. I'll use a little bit of parsley. If you've got fresh parsley, that's always better. But you can go ahead and chop up about 2 tablespoons of that as well and put that into the mixture. So I'm going to go ahead and finish my onions here because I haven't finished putting those in yet. And I'll be back to put all this together and show you what it looks like in just a second. Alright, we're back and we're ready to put all of this together. Now just a quick recap. Remember we had our bread, 6 to 8 cups. We had our sausage, 1 pound. We had about 2 cups of mushrooms. We had about 1.5 cups of onions. We had 1.5 sticks of butter. Remember the butter, mushrooms, onions go in the pan. Saute them so the onions are translucent. Sausage, you can do it in the same pan. I'm just doing it separately here just to show you. But you can go ahead and mix that up and make it into small pieces. We also have 2 eggs that we're going to be adding to the mixture. We've got 2 tablespoons of poultry seasoning, some parsley. If you like celery, you can go ahead and chop some of that up and put it in. And last but not least, some of the broth that we've gotten once we boiled down the neck and some of the gizzard and the heart from the turkey. Did it in this pan, and then I've just got it over here to add it. When we mix all this together, we're not looking for it to be real squishy and mushy. We're looking for it to be firm, to have it hold together a little bit, because once we pack it in the turkey and start cooking it, the steam and the moisture from all the different pieces that we've got cooking here are going to make it even moister. So the sausage first, and again it's just going to be in little bite-sized or even smaller chunks, and we're just going to go ahead and add it in here. And you'll notice that this sausage really didn't have any grease to go along with it. I remember back in the day I used to be able to pour the stuff out of there. Alright, this is the 1.5 sticks of butter and the mushrooms and the onions. Pour that in as well. Once you get everything chopped up and cooked, I mean the rest of this is just pretty easy for you to go through. The trick in doing this is making sure that you have the pan or the bowl to be able to fit all this stuff together. So I've gotten that in there. Now I'm going to go ahead and take my eggs. And remember, I don't want to take the eggs and pop them over something that's really hot here, because it's then just going to start cooking the egg right then and there. So I'm going to put a little bit on the sides here so we can just mix them in separately. And I'm going to put and mix this. I'm going to put about half of the liquid in right now. Move it over here so I can get right in front of it. I'm going to take the 2 wooden spoons that I used and sort of toss it like a salad. And then what I'm going to do is, you'll notice that you're getting this a little bit through. That bread is still pretty crunchy and crispy. So if you've gotten it real crunchy and crispy, it's going to take and absorb that liquid pretty easily. So I'm going to go ahead and add the rest of the liquid in. And after I do that, I'm going to go ahead and add in the 2 tablespoons of poultry seasoning, and I am going to estimate this and move it around. And again, now I want to be able to mix this in there pretty good. Some people will do away with the wooden spoons and just get in there with their hands. I don't think you want to see me do that, so I'm going to go ahead and continue to use the wooden spoons. But the mixture that you're looking for is everything mixed thoroughly through here. All right, as you can see, the bread is starting to absorb some of the moisture from the butter, from the water, or from the broth. And it's starting to look and smell absolutely fantastic. Now I think on this one I'm going to add a little bit more liquid. You don't want to, again, you don't want to get this real squishy. You don't want to get this so that it's sopping wet. You want to get it so it'll hold together once it gets in the bird. Some people also will take the neck and the gizzard and the heart, cut that up, and then put it in here as well. I'm not going to go ahead and do that, but feel free to do that if... There we go. I'm just going to add maybe about 1/4 cup more of the liquid there. Toss it again, just to get it evenly through here. And now what you have is some really good dressing in the making. I'm going to take and let this sit for about 5 minutes. Then I'll probably toss it one more time and then put it in the bird and get it into the oven with the turkey. Here it is. Looks delicious. Hope you enjoy it. Have a good meal. Thanks, and we'll be talking to you next time from Barry's Kitchen.